Hello people, this is episode 4 of the FIRMCAST. I'm Tommy C and we got Matty, Stav and Sheppo here today. Only us 4, no one chirping up in the background like last time. We've just had some major scran from Shake and Waffle in Runcorn. What are these Oreo?
It's called a Murder Show Madness.
Merch or Madness?
No, a Murder Show Madness.
Oh, Murder Show
They're all
Madness.
named after they're all named after different estates. So like you got like a Sandymore, so that's from Sandymore obviously. And you got like Grangeway Gangster, Altenbroek Hooker, loads of mad names. Yeah, like they're all mad names, like, but they've obviously got, and then obviously you can make what you want as well. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna come by and get one of them. Was it the Easter egg, the mini egg fellas?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one of them.
Yeah.
We need to make a firm shake then, don't we, obviously?
Yeah, hey, that's a good shout back there, yeah.
Yeah,
Monster
definitely.
one for Chug.
Yeah, a little monster milkshake for Chug there.
Monster and pineapples.
Onion pineapples. Sound as. But yeah, first things first. The merch is here, as you can tell. Caps, hoodies, two styles of hoodies. Yeah. We got patches, stickers. About half of it's sold out now, so thanks to everyone that's buying it. A lot of it went down south, some to Anglesey, some to Wales,
Some to France.
some to France. Yeah, that French fella, he was absolutely buzzing.
Je m'appelle, thank you. Almost French. I think that was my name is thank you then.
But yeah, it's gone far and wide, so we've got about half of it left to sell, and then we can put it into, like, it's getting invested back into the firm and more merch and trips and more podcast equipment, and so it's all going to a good place.
All proceeds are going to go to the charity of Chug, which everyone will be happy about. Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, we'll go right into the subject of Wolf.
Wolfie!
Big man Wolf. Now Wolf, I'd say he's a bit of a legend round here. Some people wouldn't say that, but I think he's a bit of a legend.
Yeah.
He was, if you watch the first Tea and Biscuits in 2020, I can't remember when it come out, Wolf was the one who was sending it to flat on that little giant brass hardtail, and he dropped off the little cliff at the end and then knocked himself out on the tree, and then got that free bike from Nige, which he very much deserved. So that was Wolf, and I think that's how he came to fame, because people enjoyed that film, and like he was the icon about it, the icon in it. But he's he stopped riding, didn't he? Like everyone stopped riding here and there, and he went and did some stuff, and now he's back on the scene, or we're trying to get him back on the scene. So he's just built your bike up, hasn't he? He's getting on with his.
Give him a frame and shop. You already had a set of wheels, so if anyone's got any forks, hit up the Wolf.
We're trying to get Wolf back on the bike and back out with the boys, because
Everyone misses you, lad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I reckon
talent, mate.
you're right. Like
Everyone misses him.
He's been on the scene a long time. Like
Wolf was there from, I'd say, from the start of it all, from when we first started riding our local tracks, and I used to see like Jimmy when he was like this tall and this thin. There was like him, and then Wolf, just like pulling off everything and just bingoing his back wheel into trees left, right, centre.
Oh, just saying that.
I reckon I first seen Wolf in like 2010 at the skate park.
Oh yeah.
So he's just this little scrawny ass kid with his twin brother. And
He's got a twin?
Yeah, he's got a twin brother, yeah.
The coyote? How's he?
The coyote.
You know, you've probably seen him at the fairs before now, like years ago.
No
He
way.
did used to ride a little bit, like, but yeah, I first seen him at Phoenix, and they had a giant trials bike, like giant made trials bike.
At proper trials, bike.
Yeah, proper like 24 or 26 trials. I think it was a 26 trials bike.
Yeah.
Rigid
Like a
forks and that.
classical trial bike.
Yeah, and they used to share it.
No way.
So they like take turns on it, and you know Phoenix, the pyramid. He
Yeah.
tried to jump from the pyramid to the bank. You know, after it.
I know what you
That's
mean,
a big gap.
That's quite a big gap,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he was trying to like hook this gap on this giant hardtail like trials bike.
A rigid
108
trials
feet,
bike in
yeah.
a skate park.
Just fucking smashing his wrists up. And like from then I was like, this kid's mad. You wouldn't see him for weeks, and then he'd just appear again with his brother, and then because They live in Weston. So like when you're a kid, that's a
bit of a miss, yeah. It's a bit of a
distance to
miss,
get
like,
to the
isn't it?
skate
Yeah.
park, like, you only ever see him on like a Saturday or something. But yeah, he's a funny kid, like.
Yeah,
But he's always just like been around since then.
Yeah, I hate Phoenix, me. I went on a bike years ago, 2-3 years ago, bought a jump bike. Exactly, I'm sure it was Mike's album, like his red one with this mad banana thing, because he messaged me when I bought it saying that's my old bike that or something like that. And I was just like, oh, and he's like, I can tell by the sticker. But anyway, short story, I dropped in the bowl and like literally I went from the top of the fucking big bowl, dropped in, and the front wheel just went zoom along the coping, and I swear to you, I didn't even touch the ramp. I fell from the top to the fucking floor and landed on my knee. And I had like a pair of jeans on like now, and then literally it looked like I had fucking knee pads on. It was unreal. I was lying there, yeah, just going white in pain. And you know what I mean?
Jeez.
It was horrible, lad. I'm never going back there again, like, ever. Hated it.
Yeah, heavy slams in the parks, like, aren't they?
Yeah, it's nothing like hitting fresh loam, like,
No.
is it?
Soft, you can eat it, can't you?
Yeah. But yeah.
Up the wolf, anyway.
Yeah,
Up the wolf. I'll definitely get them folks out for him.
yeah. We're on your case, Wolf. We're trying to,
No excuses now, lads. You're
Yeah.
getting back out there with us. You know what I mean?
like, the group's probably bigger and better than it's ever been.
We're just missing the wolf, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, we've got all sorts of lads, but like, when the Wolf comes along and he's firing,
Yeah,
like,
it's
he's,
howling,
yeah, starts howling.
Would Tea and Biscuits have been as good as it was without the wolf in it?
No.
Absolutely not. That
He made that segment.
Yeah, maybe.
he's one of them that will just play up. If there's a group of lads, and especially if there's a camera or two there, he'll just go to next.
Just comes out with madness.
Yeah.
He's like that when there's no camera. He's just, I reckon that's just him, like, you know what I mean? There's a mess about, like, you know, it's madness.
The
Like,
funniest thing was about that day we were filming, like, that Tea and Biscuit segment. He was riding around all day with no helmet
No
on.
lid on. Yeah.
And it was only like, it was only just before he did that drop that you had that like pot lid with you, and you're like, Wolf, put this on. And he was like, nah, it's sound.
It was not sound.
Like genuinely,
listen, good job he put it
the lid
on, because lads, he might not even be here now if he didn't, you know
Yeah,
what I
literally
mean?
had to he got forced to put that lid on, and then 10 minutes later he's asleep.
I'm sure I looked up one time and there's the wolf dropping in on yard there. And I'm sure the lid just bounced
Yeah,
off
because
his head.
there's a clip of him. There's a clip
And
of
he's
him in
like,
it,
let it
and he's
roll.
like, he's riding one of the lomas, and he's like, oh, my hat fell off.
Yep.
Oh, my hat fell off.
Oh, sorry, that was his hat.
That was what that. He's the
Yeah.
best, you know. He is a funny
But
kid.
you're right about that POC helmet when he dropped in, because that POC helmet I got off Rob Kennelly years before. That was my old full face, and I just brought it because, well, you turn up with a bunch of lads, and most of them are in half lids, and so a full face is a good idea if someone's going to try something stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was me. Oh, probably it might have been me. I was like, put this on. You're gonna need it. And then you're right. As it turns out, a few minutes later, 7 seconds after he went off that drop, he was asleep, and
wow.
I was
That is the
panicking
hey,
big
that
time.
is like,
Oh, I remember.
that is the line though. The line of that is literally, where are you? In the panties, bro.
Do you know where you are, mate?
Yeah, man, panties, bro.
Literally, when I first seen that, I was like, who is this kid, lad? You know what I
It
mean?
was so scary.
He's something else, lad. This kid is something else, like, who is he, you know what I mean?
I've got,
And then, lo and behold, I started riding, I met him, and then was actually riding with him. And then he was like, showing me how to ride, because I didn't know how to ride, and then... he went off the scene and I was gutted. Every time I see him or when I see him, I always say, get a fucking bike, lad. You know what I mean? You're a waste of talent. Yeah. You're unreal on a bike. You need a fucking...
He sort of made you get away.
Like, yeah, he sort of... Like, when I met him, he made me want to ride bikes. Just watching Tea and Biscuits made me want to ride bikes, you know what I mean?
I can't believe how far, like, shout out to Shep here, like, I can't believe how far Shep's come on the bike for how soon he's got into it. Because, you know, it's, you know, the older you get, not as probably easy. I'm not saying you're an old man at all, but you know what I mean?
Only 31,
you know what I mean? No, yeah, but like we've been riding on the
At least,
trail
yeah,
since
let
we
me
were
start-
like
let me start
14
riding.
and 15, do you know what I mean?
I
So,
think it was 27 when I first started riding.
Yeah, you
Like,
came in
drops that
well
'cause
late
you've-
and then got in with us, and I've noticed like the past year or two, your
styling,
welly stuff
like-
so much harder.
Yeah.
the style and that,
Once
like,
you've done
style
10
is
days
hard
in
to get.
Morzine, you'll be flying.
I can't wait for all these, you know that. I can't wait for all
Yeah,
these.
sick.
But yeah, Wolfie lad, it is right, lad.
It is right,
Because literally, you just made me want to ride bikes, lad, you know what I mean?
The funniest thing was about that clip where he hit the tree. Obviously, the angle it was filmed, like you couldn't see. But I've got like a phone clip from up on that rock because there was like 20, 25 of us.
Yeah,
up
it was
there.
a big crew.
Crazy. There was a crew of us, and yeah, everyone's like buzzing. And the minute he hit that tree, it's radio sounds. Everyone shit themselves. We were like,
Lad,
that
was
bad.
it Rob? Is it Rob who was helping him on the,
Lu-
on the video? When
I
he
think
clips
it was.
I can't remember. I
I
think
think
it was
Lewis Ash.
Was it? Yeah, and then like Robbo was like all shook. I can't remember who it was. And that
He was out for a good 40
Lad.
seconds.
it was naughty. That
I think it was longer than that because I was in panic stations. I was like, right, we're gonna have to get someone off the hill who might have done the neck here. Or my mind was just racing. Nige was there, wasn't he? Owen was, and Lewis. I don't know if Lewis is maybe. He was straight on his case. I don't know if he knew first aid or something. And he says on the camera, I think he's like, oh, it's not looking good or something. He says
So
something.
like
Like,
he's no response. He's like,
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get it up and find it. You know, I reckon we get it up
yeah,
and find it.
I'll lay it over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
When Wolf was like, I'm hitting it, I was like, you know what, fair play, kid. I know you've got the talent to do this, but like, it's on you, do you know what I mean? But I sort of knew we could do it as well with a skill, to be fair. But on an hardtail, after me doing it on the nollie and having to like be on the brakes perfect, both of them at the right time, for him to do that, mate, I'm pretty much.
Yeah, the thing with that drop is that
like
the
tough.
drop's not actually that big.
No.
It's a really steep landing, and then
It's
there's
how
like
short
an
it is.
absolute maze of trees at the bottom you got to try and get through. So we tried to dig a corner before that, didn't we? But the force you're in the corner because it's so steep, people were just high siding over.
that's what was
or
happening, yeah.
because the bank was so steep, and I think it must have been a greasy day because you can see, especially Chug, his front wheel washes.
or you like knives and
Yeah,
slides
yeah,
across
yeah,
the floor.
yeah.
So I think it's just, like I say, the drop's not the issue, it's everything else. And so everyone had done that, and then the Wolf's like, yeah, I'm in. Straight off, on the brass, on these skinhead dirt jump tyres,
Yeah.
not a single bit of tread
Possibly
on
even
them.
cable brakes, I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
They
Cable,
It looked like that, Mike.
Cable brakes.
It looked like that,
Yeah.
baldy as that, you know what I mean?
it was. Cable disc
Cable
brakes.
brakes. To be fair to him as well, he actually, maybe the suspension probably was a reason why the lads were high siding and I did the first time over the berm early. You know, suspensions, taking on your big travel bags and then you're going. He actually rolled it through and was over the back of the bike, if I remember. He was over the back of his frame and rode the berm.
Yeah, he got round. He
He
just
did,
like
didn't
went
he?
straight.
It's almost like he G'd out. Off.
Exactly, yeah, with no suspension, it was going to him like, and that was it.
No, it's a funny clip of that as well, when he gets that Vitus, isn't that on there?
Yeah, at the
He
end.
starts wheeling it, he's like, bloody hell, this goes in a straight line.
Mad having the bike that just rolls in a straight line.
I used to laugh at that bit, you know.
Do you know what the
it's,
funniest thing is about that day when he knocked himself out? About 20 minutes after, he sorted himself out. And I remember it. I remember it clear as anything. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He was one-handed wheeling the brass down the hill from the Firs towards the labs. One-handed wheeling.
It's right to both lads, it's right.
Off he went. Like literally
That's how he got home, lad.
20, 30 minutes before, he was like unconscious. We thought he broke his neck, and then he's just like, Sam.
Even that day we went, remember when we went filming in, was it Macclesfield? Yeah, in Mac Forest actually.
Yeah.
He took a slam to his head there, that. So like literally he tried to free that hip, didn't he, or
That
something?
hip, yeah.
And then fucking literally like fell for about 10-15 foot and landed on his head and cracked his helmet, lad. Really? Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a proper
Yeah,
whiplash
it was,
onto
it
a
was
fire road.
naughty. I'm sure.
knocked over like
I'm
that,
sure.
yeah.
I'll
I'm
find
sure
that,
that.
yeah.
I'm sure that's there.
I
Yeah.
haven't even seen that.
Lad, I'm
It
sure
was in
it's,
one of-
it's on one of the episodes, I think.
When you was all Halloween episode when everyone was dressed up and he tried to
he
270 a
clapped
hit
the
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just went and then like bang on the fire
Well,
road
it was
like
He's not shy for the spin though, is he?
No.
nah.
Throw a spin.
Nah, literally, there's like this little place called BWL, right? It's in the middle of the expressway. There's like an roundabout sort of thing, lad. There's a video, I'm sure it's on his Instagram, yeah. But literally, lad, he just turned up, yeah, as he does, lad, in his Nike fucking 90s, yeah, his hat on, and he just went, watch this shit, I'm gonna free that now. And I just looked at him and thought, no, you're not. You know what I mean? And this literally comes in, one banged it. No helmet or nothing in front of me. And I was just like, you're something else, you lad, you know what I mean?
That was like a
BMX
BMX sort of tabletop jump. Like,
that was like
not like a mountain bike jump.
That was like a long and low 360
Yeah,
on it. Yeah, like a fast, like some boy.
Crazy, you know, he's boss.
Sound.
Get your bike sorted, Wolf.
Wolf's back out, he's got no excuse
Get
now.
your bike sorted.
Yeah, you've been on
Still
26
riding
for a long
26.
time.
It'd be mad seeing you on a different bike.
I know, Bill.
You could be on a mullet,
Yeah.
modern geometry. You'd be gone, like.
that, what have I been missing?
How long have you had the podium for now?
Podium, it was just before I done my knee, like when I done my knee sort of bad. And I think it was 2016. It was the very last podium now. Like, no, podium sort of batch, would you say? It was the very last of them. Possibly 15.
Yeah.
Possibly 15. It was just on the cusp then of everyone sort of going to 27.5 winner, or at least a year or so later.
So Stav's one of the last of the breed who's still on full 26. Yeah. Well, now changing. Full 26. Podium DH bike.
I love it.
DVO
so
inverted forks. Yeah. And you're getting caught in 29er sized holes now, aren't you?
Lad,
on
so
your little desk chair caster wheels.
I think, to be honest, I think we might have touched on this on the first podcast, but the mic might have messed up. I think I said, when I went to Diffie, I think you ended up being sick, Tommy, remember?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're going to say.
I went to Diffie,
the fork.
And like, the first time I've thought, like I'm, you know, I don't know, whoever's in front of me, I don't know, I think I've got to sort of be on your back wheel. I don't see how we're rolling down the hill. Unless you might be a bit bigger and you might have momentum on your side, but you know, I'll fucking pedal.
Yeah, I'll catch you.
I'm at Diffie on the nollie, full 26, and you are just considerably getting away from me, and I'm just like, what the fuck are these at for brekkie? You know, I haven't been off the bike that long, and I'm cranking, and like, coming short on some big jumps. Obviously I was getting them where I could, try and yards, but I proper seen the difference there, like, first hand.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good day,
like, yeah, I ran over you now.
I didn't
jumped on your arm, fella, big shit. Hasn't been riding since, I'm sorry, shit.
Yeah,
legend.
Nah, but that was class, that. And then you come in the car park, and I just looked at your bike. I was like, wow, something's up with that. And then you fucking fall.
Oh, the forks,
yeah. Your stanchion was up here, like nearly got shot in the eye by his stanchion. Yeah.
And I came down, it was pissing down, I come into the, I was going to say pits then, so it was the pits, innit? I come into the car park. And my dad, the bike, you know, my pedal kept hitting the floor there, so, you know, something's up, and then I looked and my fucking stanchion was up there, and my ground was down there. I went, that might be why, and I felt that from the top. Yeah. I'm riding down, and my cranks are just hitting the floor, thinking, I need off these 26s with me. Before. That was cracker.
Yeah, you'll be gone, lad. You don't even need the pedal half of them.
Lad, I can't
the speed of it.
Then even when I'm watching yous, like to Finn and anyone, you know, when I'm observing, I'm seeing the speed, and I'm thinking, I say, yeah, I can see where, like, it's quicker. Do you know what I mean? It just definitely is.
So, are you mulleting it? Is that what you're going to do?
Gonna mullet. Yeah. Big mullet, yeah.
Just going to get a front 29, aren't we? And then you've got that rear 27.
I've got the wheel off Hunt, so it's going to have a full Hunt set up. Wheels.
Yeah, shout out Hunt.
I'm going to use...
Good wheels then.
Yeah, speaking of Hunt, we was filming for them 2 weeks ago for the Enduro V3 launch. They've trusted us to launch a wheel for them, which is pretty mad.
You must be confident in the wheels, and it's showing. They're showing themselves, aren't they?
I'm not going to lie, everyone's bike was failing before them wheels, and they were getting absolutely battered.
Yeah, we filmed a full weekend for videos coming out, I think on the 3rd of April. That's when the wheel launch is, I think, around then. And we had all the lads, pretty much all of the lads are on Hunt now, bar a few. And everyone's absolutely battering them, and they're taking it like.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, obviously when a wheel set's fresh, you know, you sort of want to run them in, don't you, and V2 them. So they were getting like sent out the box on the bikes and getting sent, so they were holding up then. So even after the first two, they're going to be even. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If they're
they
showing
were.
themselves how strong they are out the box from the get-go. Do you know what I mean?
Dave, on me, I've absolutely battered them.
You gave them hell. We actually had the designer of the wheels, Ollie. He drove up from Brighton for that weekend.
Yeah, solid.
And he in the video you'll see he's like the mad professor kind of thing. This is the funny idea that we did.
Him and Robbo look like they want money. And they look like twins, letting them messing.
He come up from Brighton, and then literally when he parked up, he was like, "Is this a riding spot? Why am I parking in a building site?" Because obviously on the expressway, digging it up, he was like, "Where's the riding spot?" Took him in the woods, and I think he was quite surprised, and he actually couldn't understand most of us.
Yeah.
Like,
You needed like a translator with us that day, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he was there, and he saw firsthand that. Well, literally one of the first things that we were filming was Chug doing barrel rolls on the hip, heavy landings.
Heavy.
And then we went straight into all the turns, like little Lou must have done hundreds of sideways landings on the hip.
Literally.
And he showed us the other day the wheel spinning, and the bead on the tyre is bent. So the tyre's bent, but the wheel's still bang on.
Solid, yeah.
Yeah, shout out Lou and what was actually the youngsters that.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you kind of introduced Lou to us.
Yeah, Lou,
and then
I knew him like, I don't know, he lives by both, to be fair. It was just like, you bumped into him when they started riding and that, got speaking to him every time I seen him. It was just like, "What's happening, Lou, you're alright?" And just got to know him, and then he started riding, and then I just seen him starting getting better and
He's a
better.
ripper.
Literally,
He's a
like,
ripper.
the kid can ride, like,
Yeah.
literally, he can ride his bike, like,
Yeah,
you know what I
he
mean?
can.
he's got good potential, and so's Wes as well. So it's like,
Yeah, Wes is a
bringing-
big centre, and he...
Yeah.
You want to see the state of our Wes?
Go on,
Nah,
George.
the pair of them, yeah, for their age, they're unreal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
How old are they?
They're only like 18.
Ah, boss.
I know what I think in my head.
Grand.
I wish I got into mountain biking when I was 18, because I'd be fucking racing hard.
Well, I don't know, you might have knees. Hey, you might have knees like mine.
I fucking got them, lad, but that won't stop me, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, but
fair
those-
play to them both, like the sick.
And it's just good to have a few youngsters who are well keen, and to bring them through in the group and show them like all the stuff we do, and they can come on the trips with us, and like, you know,
Yeah.
because we've got like some of us are getting a bit old, and you know, like, well, Mike's the eldest, isn't he? And like he'll be back
Granddad.
on a bike, but
Yeah, that's it.
but just to have a few youngsters coming through
Young
is
gal.
good.
Young gal, he's a cracker.
Young gal as well. He's
Yeah.
like 11 or 12. He's like Chug's little sidekick.
This is the princess, isn't he?
And he's just absolutely frothing for it. And like,
Didn't you get clips of him when we were actually filming on that whole thing?
he's got 2 clips in the video.
Yeah.
I
I've seen
remember
him,
seeing
yeah.
him.
Did you not see how far he went off that
Yeah, he's
kicker?
gonna say that. He's going further than Robbo and that. He was.
Yeah, I'll show you the video after.
That was
Yeah,
sick.
I've
That
got
was
it.
actually sick. Like, he was giving his due. He's got no fear in him.
Like on a little. Well, he's like yay big, weighs like literally the same as that, and he's taking off on this little Mondraker. He was going maybe. He must have done about 30 foot off that
Easy.
jump, and as he hits the floor, none of the suspension compresses because he just goes.
He's so funny as well because he's so innocent, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just loves the firm. What was it you saying
He loves
about,
Chug.
like, about
He
the
loves
streak?
Chug, lad.
He's got a streak watching
Oh yeah, he was
Firm
like,
movie.
I'm on a 20-day streak watching the Firm movie.
I was going to say before, when I was down the bottom of the hill with my little girl there while you was all riding, and she was just on one down the bottom of the hill on a mission in the woods. And a few kids have just come up the bottom, and I knew they weren't first time I'd seen them sort of that day, so I just said, "Yes, boys, what's happening?" And the little lad was there like, "Yes, you Stav." I said, "Yeah, man." He was like, "Oh, yes, they're firm," just like buzzing. I was like, "Yes, Stav, what's your name?" and all that. And I bought a little interaction with him and his mates. And the next thing, lads, I came back up the hill then. And there's young gal, she's like, just sending it and style in the corner. I was like, "Yes, lad."
Yeah,
Oh,
Chug,
yeah,
Chug
young
give him a
gal's good
sticker for his bike in the video. I'll show you.
Did
He
he?
gets a little
Nice.
sticker, puts it on his top tube, and he goes, "Fresh that." Dead funny.
It's boss to see in it, like it's what like sort of we do it for as well.
Yeah, especially youngsters like that, because
Yeah.
well, when we was getting into it all, like you find people to look up to, and now you see that
Yeah,
happening
man.
to us, and especially the likes of Chug, and you know, who are really pushing it. Like
Out there,
Chug will be their heroes, you know, like.
Yeah, he's worldwide, Chug now. He's on tour now in basically Portugal, isn't he? On tour. Yeah. He's a race mechanic and a digger, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's doing bits.
He's like Chug.
That picture that we put in yesterday in the group of him with that big rock, like, a random lad, I was just like, he was like, some spud that one. I was laughing me head off, I was like, you're something else, you lad.
Chug is an absolute unit.
Yeah, he said,
he's stacked, isn't he, really?
Yeah,
Like.
you see him at the top of, he's a monster.
Can I say something? Oh, was the 4 of us here last time?
There was...
No, there was 53.
There was Chug as well.
I remember I was like, this means.
Yeah, there was me and Chug.
Chug was there, just like that.
he put the firm hoodie on him, it looked like it was sprayed on.
It was, yeah.
He's just sat there like that, he's just buzzed
I
out.
don't know how, because he just eats sweets and drinks beers.
Oh yeah, that money must have something else in it, man. He's just, that's his diet, isn't
I went
it?
his last week to get that frame off him, and there was just bags of sweets everywhere.
Oh, he's great, Chug.
Oh, this class.
When's he back, Chug?
Chug's back. Is it the weekend?
I think it's next Monday, he was
Is it?
saying. He's saying something like, because he weren't happy, because we were going to go and do like the ride shed without him. He's not happy there, like, he went and put my foot down, didn't I, lad? And said, you aren't doing an episode until I'm back. I was laughing my head off, but he said he's back next week and then he's away again or something for another 2 weeks or something. And then he said he's going to live in Morsey again.
Yeah, I think he does 2 weeks every month now for Jack Redding in Portugal, digging mechanic for Jack's camp that he puts on. And then, yeah, he'll be out in Morsey for the summer.
Because I said, are you driving to Morsey with me or Matty? And he said, no, because I'm going to be there before you. I was just laughing me head off, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how he does it, he doesn't care, does he, as long as he's got his bike.
Eats and breathes.
He's got his bike, a can of money, and about enough to live for a day. He's happy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So long as he can go to the shop and buy money after a couple of laps, he's sound.
Yeah.
As long as there's pasta back at where he's staying,
Yeah.
he's happy just
And
on
a
the
cheap
pasta
baguette
every
at
day.
Carrefour that you can just...
See the video of him putting money in his fucking C-Max?
Yeah.
Did you see that? I was laughing me head out there, you know.
Classic Chug puts Monster in the C-Max to give it a few more horsepowers.
What was it last time we were at Morsey?
Yeah, I'm sure it was in the water.
Didn't he have like a...
He had
fruit bowl or something?
he had a watermelon, like one of these full of watermelon, and then he just
Poured
cracked a
money
money
in,
in and then swilled it round and necked it all. Yeah.
Standard behaviour.
You should do one of them in the gaff.
Yeah,
Chug shake.
Chug special.
That must have been start of the holiday, that, if he had fruit.
Oh yeah.
He's not on the fruit by the end, like.
Nah, no chance. Who was it that was on the Tabasco shots? It was Kurt, wasn't it?
Me and Kurt, yeah.
What's it
Was
mean,
it
Tabasco?
Jameson and Tabasco shots in the gaff?
What are they? What is it like?
Nah, we were like rock, paper, scissors.
Like Tabasco sauce?
Yeah, we were like... It was like a... I can't even remember what was in the shop, but...
It was a candle glass. It was wax in it, and they were putting like Tabasco and Jameson on it. Is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that, yeah.
That's raw, that lad. You,
But then
you won't see me doing none of that.
But
in
then rock,
fucking
paper,
Morsey.
scissors for it, like...
I just saying that, I mean, like, knock yourself out, lad. Have it.
Yeah, leave him to it.
My fella loves Tabasco. Puts it on toast and all that.
Yeah, but not with fucking...
Tabasco on
fucking-
toast.
Yeah, they'll just do like bits of like burnt toast, salt and pepper, and then you'll see him with a few drops of Tabasco on it.
Fair.
Not too bad, to be fair, it's a little kick, you know what I mean?
That Firm HQ, the first... That year in Morsey, and that was so funny, that house.
Oh yeah, that was
So,
2022, wasn't it, when we all went to
There was just
Morsey
always
for the
something
first
going on.
time?
Sword fights, fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, Batty.
It's just everything.
No, it was-
just funny. It's carnage.
It was jokes.
I hope we get our own room. How many rooms are in this one?
Nah, we're not getting our own room. None of us.
Tommy got his own room the first year. He put himself in the basement.
Did he?
Did you
I'll
tell
do
Yeah,
that.
fucking
away
right.
from everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
you
do that.
boys are all fucking... I wanted an early night. I'm an old man. So
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
fuck it.
Well, what kept happening? Robbo and Finn kept going to bed early. They'd get off when, like, you'd get off and then
Yeah.
they'd stay up for a little bit and go, and then everyone else would be out well late. And then they just get terrorised.
Yeah.
Don't even touch me in my sleep.
Who was it?
I'm telling you now, lad, yeah.
Finn was
I'm
fighting
weird
with
enough
someone.
in my sleep, lad. Hey.
It's in that episode.
Finn was fighting with someone
Yeah, was it like Chug?
with the swords.
No, like,
What's the video?
in the room he was in.
What year
You're,
was
like,
the one
grappling.
when you and
I can't
John were
remember,
walking around opening doors? What one's that? I seen a video of something and John just looks bladdered and he's like, he's do something mad.
No, that was it. That was that one, yeah. that little thing under that house.
That little crib thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cribs. He was like, yeah, I remember that.
What's John up to?
I think he's back now, isn't he?
He's back in the UK.
Is he?
Yeah, he's back home. Chug thought he was going to get shafted in the airport because he thought he'd gone over his 90 days in Europe.
Oh.
But I don't think he has. I think he's back for a bit and then.
I don't know if he's going to have trouble getting out for the summer. Because he did 90 days last summer. He went out in January, he's done another 90 days, and now he'll want to go and do the season again.
What is the rule? Is it 90 days every 6 months? Or?
I don't know, it must be something like that.
Well, there's
I got told
there's
something
90
like,
days.
if you come back for a month, you can have another 90 days, mate. So you have to come back. I don't know how true that is, though, you know what I mean? Shit, anyway, so just let us go out the country for how long we fucking want. You know what I mean?
No,
You go tell him.
Fucking hell, sort it out, Starmer, you muffins.
Oh, he needs a proper good iron.
Yeah, needs an iron.
God. If you're watching it, lads, I'll give you an iron. Tell you.
Fucking, my nan's been freezing all winter, lad.
Sort it out.
And it's on the film. But we're still freezing.
Vote Chug for Prime Minister in the next election.
Hashtag vote Chug.
Vote Chug. I'll be there with him.
Free my bunnies for anyone who votes for him.
Imagine the country under Chug's rule. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
There'll be
hey,
kickers
I was going to say there won't be speed bumps, there'll be kickers.
Every kid will get a money when they get to school.
Yeah, if like, no, like when you go to school and you get told like, oh, is he healthy and all that, Chug will be like, no, this is what it is. You'd have a pack of Haribos, a Monster for breakfast. He'd be like that kid, and have a fish and a rice cake, and he'll have a Monster and a Haribos, then a Monster.
Fish and a rice cake.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, all the kids will be safer.
Cans of money will be a basic human right.
On tap.
Oh, he's fucking funny.
He'll be sat in the office, won't he, in Downing Street, and there'll just be one of them neon money logos above the desk.
Like him like in a throne made out of Monster. He'll stand there, like, passes a Monster there, he's like, grab.
Oh God. We're going to have to beat that out. You can't stop. I don't know. You're probably fine. He's
Like a band off YouTube for saying that. Bloody hell, Starmer and Lavers. Oh, funny.
Who's on about there?
That's funny that, you know.
Even when Chug's not here, he's still very much so part of the podcast, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just one of them guys, isn't he?
He's always here in spirit, isn't he?
Chug's the life and soul of it
He's
all,
got a lot of
really.
stories, hasn't he? You know what I
yeah.
mean? He's got a lot of stories. He just lives, breathes and shits fucking mountain biking. You know what I mean?
He's the life and soul of it all, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of track in the local woods when we were filming, actually. And there's a corner, no, there's a kicker, a corner and a kicker. So he hits the first kicker, hits the floor, bang, doesn't sound great. Hits the corner, hits the next kicker, pulls, lands, even louder bang, and then goes around the corner and then forward rolls off the bike, head first into a pit that someone's dug for the corner. So he just disappears. And
Can I just, whilst we're on the subject of frames, that is, we were speaking about the podium before. That's the main reason I got the podium. Was because like I was watching like James Dorfling, a few of these riders, just sending these nollies to oblivion, and he just was not breaking all that. And like I was like, I'm sick of breaking frames. I broke Giants, Orange, I think 2 oranges. I broke Giants, Transition, full overlays, the head tube. I've cracked them, bent them, you name it. All obviously second hand frames, but decent frames, know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like good companies. So I was like, I'm buying a new frame. And just got on Nolly, was emailed him, he was sound as anything, all up for it, and got me the podium. And it was Dan who actually said to me, well, like, you know, what are you up to? What's going on? Do you want to get on like the grassroots program? I was like, buzzing, like, yeah, defo. But then it was when I done my knee, and it was bad. It was a bad knee injury. It was like 18-month recovery. That's what it should have been. Do you know what I mean? And I sort of like, and to be fair to Nolly, they were like, I was a bit young at the time as well, so I was like, oh, I'm just going to go fishing me for a bit and I'll be sweet. But he kept in touch and was like, probably would have definitely like just stayed on with them anyway if I would have maybe explained it better or something, do you know what I mean? But it was just, thinking I was about to sign like that contract, I'd done my knee. I was like, it's not very fair, I definitely can't ride for like at least a season, do you know what I mean, properly. But yeah, he approached me again basically, well, Stephen Fenner, so big thanks to Stephen. He's the UK Nolly like team manager, leader, do you know what I mean? So he gave me a shout after seeing the Fair movie and all that again. So yeah, I've sorted this deal through Stephen. So, but shout out to Nolly because I have tried my hardest to like, I've done like...
You've done a lot of daft stuff on that.
Done a lot of daft stuff with that Nolly, and a lot of things I've broke before that frame is even so much that the hairline crack. Like literally, I've broke a good few things on that bike before that bike as well, like literally.
The thing with any frame or any bike, people don't want to admit it, but everything breaks at some point.
Yeah,
it's just a case of people like Chug or people who do stuff like that. Carbon anything, it's not gonna.
I've never trusted it. I've never been into a carbon frame set ever.
Chug's been on reserve wheels and he's done some daft stuff and he's blown some up and he went through a lot of reserve wheels, didn't he? He kept warranting him. And then we've not been on hunt for that long, but like, it just makes sense to have an alloy wheel that, yeah, it's going to dent and ding, but it's going to hold up and it's not just going to fucking split like a
I
carbon
remember people
wheel.
started getting into like the carbon frame sets. At Delamere still this, and I'm like on obviously the steel bike still. And I jumped on one, don't know whose it was or what it was. Like I just felt the flex in the corner a bit, like on the switchback in Delamere. So I railed them and I was like, whoa. But right away, even at like a young age, I was just thinking, that's just not going to really be as efficient. Even if you damage an alley bike to a certain degree, you can repair it, depending where it's broke or damaged, can you? You know, it can be repaired. Where your carbon setups, it's over, isn't it?
There's definitely there's a place for it.
Boots, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a place for it. Like carbon's great,
true.
it's lightweight, but then
not for someone like me and Chug, I'd say. To be
not
honest.
when you know what is it you're doing? You just
lashing your bikes off anything.
To be fair, I've had my first one was carbon with a snapped.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I snapped it, but like, and then I've had two Santa Cruzes now, and I've put them both through well. Don't know if you've heavy sends on them. Done that one.
They obviously work, don't
they?
But
they haven't really, like, I don't know, never found a crack in them, me. The Santa's ones, like, we've had them, that only last 10 days. Bought that and snapped it in Delamere on some shitty little hip.
Yeah.
Well, that was a carbon radar.
So many
carbon, like, literally. Shout out to Wolf fucking, he actually serviced that for me once, you know what I mean? So it is right, but fucking, it was finished, like, I'm sure I can find a video of it, yeah. I grabbed the fucking, it like, the top tube like blew on it or something, but I was still riding it for like about 6 weeks after, but in the end, you could literally grab the frame like that, yeah, and literally do that on the frame, lad, you know what I mean? It'd go in, that was horrible, you know what I mean? Sure, that's somewhere, I don't know, it's in the room somewhere there, but my Santa ones like that, fucking hell. I've hit trees on them, I've sent it off fucking big drops on them, and it's all like.
Have you ever had anything carbon?
No, I was staying well clear. Yeah. But like, remember, I know it doesn't even matter now because nuke proof don't exist, but remember Owen? The Forest of Dean episode, we had to blur it all out of that. But if anyone notices at the start of the video, he was on a yellow, was it a Mega? Giga?
Mega it was.
He was on a yellow Mega.
I remember he did that, wasn't even a big road gap.
No. Nothing
really untoward, nothing out of the ordinary happened, but he landed and the back end just sheared off.
Yeah, he weighs like a bag of sugar, lad, so it's not like he's too heavy, you know what I mean?
It was brand new, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty fresh.
But you know what, yeah, when you look, you see loads of reels, yeah, of people doing the exact same thing.
And the thing with those Megas,
it got blurry.
They were quite common for that.
Yeah.
We can say it now, like you say, well, nuke proof's back under someone else's hands now, but the original, those Megas, they were quite bad for in quite a lot of places on the
so
frame.
many of them just,
There was quite a lot just where the shock mounts, so quite a few went there. And where did Robbo's was
Wax
the,
Like
swing arm.
that
Just wax
that
swing
bike
arm.
folded as well, didn't it? That
The
just
bottom-
completely.
yeah, the lower swing arm, that one that goes along the bottom, that just came off, didn't it?
Yeah. You
And it
couldn't
was-
even roll back to the van on it.
Even
It
on the
was-
alley
it
ones
was
though,
done.
because I bought Robbo's alley one years ago off him, his red one. That happened to me on that. If it was carbon, would have just snapped in half.
But
But
you think-
literally, I've done that. I don't even think. I can't remember something. I was in the fairs on it, and literally I was just riding it through the corners or something, and where the linkage joined to like that mad linkage in like on the swing arm. It's like a mad little like bearing thing that just blew off. I actually thought it snapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it didn't. Like you know. What
But
I
then
mean?
you
That was
think
alley.
that mega frame I've just given to Wolf, that's 5.5 years old.
Yeah, it was the same one as that. 19, I think. Yours was
Yeah, yeah.
19.
Well, that's done some riding, that thing, and that's still
That's
frame
the
bearing's a
thing.
bit iffy, but
If you'd ride a 10-year-old alley bike hard, wouldn't you? Would you
Yeah.
trust a 10-year-old carbon frame though?
no way.
I'm not a carbon expert, and would it
Would
degrade?
I
How
think it
long
can
does it-
degrade.
Can
If-
degrade, surely.
if it's left in-
weave, isn't it?
If you're storing it in sunlight and stuff
Yeah,
like that, I think
it's like a bandage,
it.
innit?
Yeah.
Because like when Wolfie done that happened for me, he took it apart and looked at it, and you could see like the band, like I don't know, it looked like a mummy, no inside, like
yeah, that's what it is.
and you could see it all just falling off inside the frame.
The
Mad.
weave must come apart because
Yeah.
it's just weaved together with adhesive, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
None of
It's not
people who
anything.
race like downhill going and World Cup and all that, are they carbon or are they alley?
Most of them are carbon.
They're all
carbon.
In
Yeah.
a race
Yeah.
application,
Yeah.
like enduro downhill, in a race application, most of them will be because lightweight, stiff, like, and some of them that I know of did like they do last a season or last, they do last.
I was gonna
But
say they must get absolutely shagged, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, like, if you do carbon wheels and you go and if you race in Fort William, there was probably still now, but when I was filming a race, you'd be doing a rimmer run, like there would be so many wheels pre-built at the bottom because if you're pushing at Fort William, you're gonna like at race pace, elite race pace.
Yeah.
Most people were coming down and rimmer run for sure.
I don't know much about carbon bikes anyway because I've never had one, but just what I sort of I've looked into. But what's the weight difference in the carbon wheels then? Quite a bit, I imagine. Or is it
Carbon wheels, I think there's a bit to be saved, but then it's
really rims, isn't it? Rims.
it is, but I think it comes more down to how stiff people want the wheel to be. A carbon wheel can be a lot stiffer, I think,
Yeah.
whereas an alley
Yeah.
wheel will.
Just give in to.
But then it's how you set the wheel up as well.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
of
your
course.
spoke tension, and I think it's just preference at the end of the day. But a carbon wheel set, I think, can be
I just
a bit
think,
lighter.
I
Yeah.
just think.
Back in the day, like the amount of people that'd be like out the downhill bikes that, and they'd have the heaviest dents underneath.
Oh, lad.
The down tubes would be smashed to fucking bits on it.
Yeah.
Remember
I-
Wolf actually had one of those fucking Viters? He got like,
Yeah.
what did he do? Don't know if it was in Parnies or something, but he hit something come off and like, I don't know if it's like it's a Russo or something, but he had a fucking naughty dent in it like.
Yeah,
Oh,
still
yeah.
sweet.
Like
Yeah, he's
I've
still
got,
spending it man, like all pressure cracks in it and that.
I've got an old Evil Faction jump bike upstairs. I've had that thing for like 15 years now, knocking on, and that's actually my second one.
Mm.
So I bought a brand new one. I'd worked like all summer holidays, bought this Evil Faction because they were their jump bike frames back in the day.
Yeah.
And Dylan Poole went to Hales with him,
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
and I was before we could drive or anything. So Dill's dad took us, bikes on the rack, been riding for the day, sound, first time on it, like loving it. Get halfway down the A49 coming home, bike rack fell off.
Fuck off!
His dad must have been doing about 55. You could just see both bikes just like a tumbleweed down the road on the rack. And a brand new Faction and a massive dent in the top tube. So obviously, like, Dill's dad bought me a new frame because, like,
It was his fault.
it
man.
was his fault.
Like Dill's dad.
So got a new one anyway, and then I had this old one. So I gave it to my mate Dan. Dan Sev had it, and he must have had that thing for
Still going.
5 or 6 years that I know of, and then he sold someone else
Nice.
with this dent in the top tube, and it was sad.
Yeah.
But it was like, the frame was pushed in like halfway.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like it was a
Good
big dent.
Yeah.
But
Serious nightmare, that innit?
I think
it never let go.
carbon has its place. It just doesn't seem like it's got its place for any of us.
Yeah, that's it.
Some of us maybe
You should
like
put that on a t-shirt, maybe.
yeah. I don't know if you just sodding about and just hooking off stuff and doing daft shit like half of us usually are doing. I don't know. It doesn't. If anything, we're a bit more like free ridey. You know,
Defo.
you need big burly.
Yeah, we just
Hard
build
hitting
and ride,
stuff.
innit? Yeah, that's what we do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think
All like about us.
I don't know. It's all personal preference. I'm not the bloody expert on it all, but I think it just has its place. And
Bit old school, aren't we?
It's let me down.
Yeah.
And it hasn't, I can say it let me down, and it hasn't let me down, you know what I mean? So I've had both sides of the cloth really with them, you know what I mean?
We grew up in that like different era.
Yeah.
We were like that proper like 2010s free ride.
As soon as I seen carbon, I was like, didn't know much about it. I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. I had a weird little concept about it. Maybe because I was just, I don't know.
nice.
You know what I mean? Then I was like immediately, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna try that. I was like, that's not gonna work.
I don't even think they feel much different, to be honest.
Can I just say something as well? I don't know that I'm...
Crack on, yeah. We got
you'll
about
remember,
5 minutes. So
but I'm sure as well, when the carbon bikes first came on the scene, like the price of bikes went up heavily. Am I wrong or am I right there?
No, it did, yeah.
Like that's why when I said before it's a gimmick, like obviously it works. I'm not like knocking it majorly. Like I haven't even rode on properly for my own bike, but I do remember when they first come out, the prices of bikes, and then obviously alley bikes sort of followed suit double. So like, was it just put out there?
To make the bikes go up and make
So
more.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously I could see the concept behind it for the lightness and it's a new material and we can.
I think
I don't know whether they can
It's
build
like
them
one of
quicker.
them,
I
lad,
don't know.
it's like they're always going to try and make something better, innit? Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, you get like carbon fucking, carbon fucking cars now. Your whole car's fucking carbon. You want a fucking carbon car?
Well,
You know what
I think-
mean?
well,
if I can get one for nothing, I'll have one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyone got any carbon cars for us there?
carbon bikes are like they've always been. I think they've been a thing for a long time. Really, it's just when they came into the mainstream and for the set. I don't know, for likes of road and stuff, then absolutely when you're proper weight weenies, you know, when you need it to be mega light, but then I don't know. Mountain bikers always want to innovate. Don't
I've
they?
got
You
carbon
need the next
bars.
new thing, and
I've got carbon bars on the Scout, and I've sent that. But obviously, it's a light bike. I'm not like I'm sort of being the suspension there. And do you know what I mean? It's not. I wouldn't put them on my downhill bike.
but then how long would you trust those bars for? Knowing the carbon bars?
You know me, I'm not asked. I'll send it till they snap in half. Do you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah, true.
But so I've always thought about it. I've thought, are they going to snap? But you know, a hardtail's different than a sending a full sus in it, sort of back wheel first anyway all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. We probably need to look at like the actual properties of that carbon versus alloy and stuff, and then we'd probably all be proven wrong. But from like what
Just the people around us, and you see what they're doing to carbon frames and wheels.
We should try and like anyone out there who wants to set it up, we'll do a carbon and alley test day.
Ali's won right away because
just give us loads of parts with a carbon and an alley, and
yeah,
then we'll see what's what.
We'll get
We'll
someone.
just give it a chug and go, yeah, here's 24 money and loads of parts. See what you can do, lad.
Look, here's the top and
Chug
bottom.
like that.
Here's the top and bottom of it, yeah. You can go and cut an alley frame in half right now and have your man who's a top welder, which there's plenty, and weld that baby back up. You can't do that with a carbon frame. It's not happening for a big gold clock. You can't even put a little punch hole in it.
it's a bit more like disposable, isn't it?
Do you know what I
Disposable
mean?
culture, you know. Like,
Yeah, like you can literally fix if you can fix anything.
Well,
on
you
an
can-
alley frame.
you
You can
can
cut the head tube off and
This
weld
is
it
where
back
we'll
on.
probably get slated in the comments here, and people are like, you can't repair carbon.
Well, if you can, fair income.
Well,
I'd love to see it. I don't know.
This is what I say, they say you can repair it, yeah, but
Like
like...
with resin or
you
something?
can patch
Yeah,
it.
but I've never,
Yeah.
I watched some lad, I know there, he had like a lap year, nickname Snap Year,
Yeah, true, yeah.
Kept snapping, but fucking, when that Radden snapped on me, he put it onto me, and then he said like, he had his done, and literally lad, it still creaked like it was cracked. I was thinking, don't even fucking fix that lad, and he paid dough for like, but it's mad because we actually live, so I think it's in Norfolk or something, there's actually a company, and it's only so many of them in the country that actually fix carbon frames, and we're actually close to it.
No way.
Because I was doing research when I done mine. But in the end, I just went and bought fucking another bike.
You can,
you know what I mean?
you can fix them. You can patch them up. I think it's just quite expensive because,
Yeah.
like you say, it's got to be a specialist.
Yeah,
so
that's what it
I
is.
think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It is.
Do you reckon you could, like, obviously weight-wise would be different, but do you reckon, let's say you had a carbon top tube, yeah, like on your bike there, if that was a carbon bike, rather than just a dent on it, it'd be like mangled all the way down the frame and you'd lose your integrity, probably a good bit of the top tube, yeah. Imagine like sort of filling it with like a bit of alley or something like inside. You know
Skin.
what I mean? Like a skin inside and then maybe resin on top. I'd probably feel safer doing that.
Or just do what Chug's done to his sander and put loads of tape on
Duct tape when in doubt, duct tape. Or
It's not
zip
even
ties.
duct tape, it's a fucking firm sticker.
Oh,
It is,
Chug.
bro, I swear. You know, the man
Some trees to hold
measures,
it
it's a
together.
fucking firm sticker.
That's why we love Chug.
Oh, he's class, though.
Tidy. Well, on that note, that has been the FIRMCAST episode 4. We'll be back hopefully next week with another one with Chug and Ant as well, once Chug's back
Yes, lads.
and Ant's coming around. But I think that's everything. See you next time.
See you
Ta-ra.
next time.